You have arrived at the K.O.E. Nation. Welcome, one and all, to the K.O.E. Nation for the one and only Old Forester 1920. Folks, this is a long time coming review. It's been coming so long, Tony's doing the Macarena over it. That's how dated, okay? I don't even think Old Forester 1920 is that dated, folks. Yeah, that's how old the Macarena is, 1919, folks. I'm pretty sure that's fact. Folks, I am your King of Extreme Phil, K.O.E., the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man that makes the other podcast cower. You can, of course, find me at K.O.E. Nation on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, and Twitter. And I am joined this evening by my indomitable broadcast partner, the one, the only,
15-time Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast champion, quadruple still, non-chill filtered, and your blend masters ceremonies himself, Tony fucking G. Find me at Linktree/Tony the Rod for all my podcasts, social medias, and anything else. Maybe an OnlyFans, who knows?
I don't think you should do that, T.
Well, I don't believe I asked for your opinion.
I'm just offering it up free. Some of the best advice can be free. So,
just
folks,
because there's a soup kitchen doesn't mean I have to go in and eat.
We have 115 proof Old Forester 1920 old school bottle in here. Gonna hand it over to old 2020 Vision.
2015.
Here.
Thank you.
Oh, what? No. Go ahead. Read, Tony.
Old Forester 1920 Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. That's without an EY. That's just a Y, folks. In 1920, during Prohibition, Osley. Is that how you pronounce that? Owsley
Brown?
Owsley? We're going to go with Owsley. Owsley Brown was granted a limited permit to bottle medicinal whiskey at 117 West Main Street in Louisville's Whiskey Row. The typical barrel proof at that time prior to bottling was 115. Now you can see clearly right here, you don't need 2015 division. See the 115 on the top of the labeling. This is the strongest of the Whiskey Row. So I'm excited because Proof Snob, Tony G, I have not had this in close to 4 years. And the last time I had this was out of this very bottle. You can go back and you can retroactively check. I think you should chop the link just to see how our ratings and our palates and everything else sync up with this now that we are coming back to it almost 4 years later, folks. Because this is the big one. This is the one that people on the bourbon internet community rave about. And there's a few people out there who think this one's absolutely terrible. I'm not one of those people.
I call those people Al-Qaeda.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. If you don't like this, if you think this is terrible, I'm sorry. I think
that's fair.
A pretty fair label. Okay?
Yeah, no, I get it.
Let me know in the comments if you think I'm off there at all.
No, it's implied, really. You don't like this. It's implied. That'll hold up.
Yep. So, as we move on to the nose, Tony.
The nose.
The nose, folks.
That does not smell like 115 proof.
Yeah, that smells like 93 proof.
Yeah. Wow, that is soft and subtle.
A little bit of floral,
wow.
A little bit of caramel, a little bit of vanilla.
This does have a bit of an Irish floral, does it not?
A little bit.
There's a pugnancy there that's really just stagnant, sweet. Yeah,
like old rope that's
floral adjacent.
Like old rope that's gotten bad or something.
Yeah, it's not an oak smell per se, but it's something adjacent. Like it's not unique, but it's not typecast. It's really nice. It does not smell like 115 proof.
Well, folks, Slanjeva. Okay, it's got some bite.
Yeah.
But it's a sweet bite.
It is. It's definitely the strongest of the Whiskey Row. And that's not hidden at all. The nose might be subtle. The taste is not, but even at 115, that's not overwhelming. Again, I like heavy proofs. This is in my wheelhouse, but it's pretty approachable for 115.
Yeah, a lot of caramel.
It is. This is the first bottle.
Like caramel corn?
Yeah. More specifically, you know the candy corn that's like caramel candy corn?
Yes.
That.
Yeah, like
I know people hate candy corn. I'm saying this with love. I promise. It's got like the brown instead of the yellow. It's like the orange and brown.
Like I'm just thinking of just like caramel corn, like when they put the caramel on the popcorn. But
but I'm thinking of like the consistency, like the flavor when you actually bite into it and chew it and enjoy it on your palate. That reminds me of that. This is gorgeous, but I can see why people wouldn't like it if they're Al Qaeda. Obviously, we established that. There's bite here, but this is not offensive at all. Everything about this is just very inviting, very, very soft, sweet, succulent.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, folks,
wow.
For those who don't know, we grade on a 5-star scale around here. 5 meaning you have to have it before you shuffle off this mortal coil. 0 meaning pass it on by. The K.O.E Nation has advised you well. So we're going to grade this as a bourbon, as a whiskey, as a cask-aged spirit. It's shelving, and for those new to the show, the secret 5th question. So, Tony, as a bourbon,
this has to be the best proof of type from Old Forester, from their standard line, without getting into the Statesman or the King Ranch or the Birthday Bourbon. This is the most bourbon-esque of the Whiskey Row series. I will go 4.25 as a bourbon.
You know, I was going to go 4, but you're right. I got to kick it up to 4.25. 4.25 as an excellent bourbon. Not only is it one of the best of their retail line, sure,
yes,
there are some special releases that you might be able to say, oh, you need to try this. Most folks, this is as close as they're ever going to get to birthday bourbon, okay? And amazing it is. So, yeah, 4.25, I have to agree. As a whiskey, so got a little bit of a bite for the amateurs. So that's why I'm going to stick with 3.75. Is it mixable? Sure. You really shouldn't, though. This is a meant to be drank neat. What this is actually perfect for, if you're somebody that likes to rip from the bottle, like, because you're not mixing it with anything, but you're also kind of drinking it the way that, like, Clint Eastwood, when he rolled into town in the cowboy days, like, I need a bottle and a shave and a beer. Like, yeah, this is kind of what you'd expect.
So for whiskey, like this, I wouldn't want to put this on ice. It would dilute it, and I like the proof as is. I think they nailed it with the 115. So if you're gonna play with the temperature, maybe a whiskey ball, a steel one that you can drop in and change the temperature. But I would just keep it like me. I keep my whiskey in my basement. It keeps it at a really nice temperature. This is at a nice room temperature already. You don't need to play with it. It's at the correct temperature. So as a whiskey, for everything you said as well, I'm going to go 4 stars.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Now, as a cask-aged spirit, they don't give you an age statement here.
That's my big gripe. This is the top of the Whiskey Row, and you don't get an age statement. You get a high proof, and I've been saying that throughout the rest. Watch the other videos, but you still get no age statement here. That's my one big gripe. I think in terms of cask aging, the proof's there, but I'm gonna go 3.65.
3.65.
3.65. There's something
I'm just
holding
going to
me
go
back.
ahead and rip the Band-Aid off and just go 3.5
Okay.
on my cask aging.
Okay.
Because you're right, it's a spectacular whiskey, but
Yes.
as cask aged spirit, this is more in the distillation, mash bill,
Yeah.
blending, and proofing. Okay, that's
Yeah.
where this all comes through. Okay.
Yes. Thank you for justifying that.
Well, thank you, and that's why I gave it better marks on other areas. Now
Yeah.
the shelving. This is going to go onto my top shelf.
Yeah. This is kind of the twin brother to 1910, and we can talk about the blend all we want. That's not really the point. They are two individual bourbons, two individual whiskeys, and they don't have to be paired together. They can be, but this is right there with the 1910 in terms of quality of the liquid inside the bottle, and you are not going to be underserved here.
A lot of people think it's better, and I think it's just the proof snobs.
I don't know. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of that because you're talking 115 versus the 93 proof, so almost 10 proof difference here, but it's a different palate. It's a sweeter, stickier type palate, whereas the 1910 is more marshmallowy based. This is a little more sticky and caramel and more bourbon-esque. So for the reasons I gave the 1910 different marks as
this
a bourbon,
is more Kentucky Derby mint julep
than
the 1910. Okay, it just is.
All right.
Now, to me, it's top shelf.
Yeah, I agree. Top.
Now, the secret fifth question: when this bottle runs empty, will I seek another? Absolutely. In fact, old bottlings of Old Forester 1920, I see actually being sold on the secondary market now for between $100 and $200. Yeah. Now,
see, why don't you just
give the new bottling a try?
Why don't you just keep this empty bottle and pour the new bottle into this empty bottle? And I guarantee you all the people making a big hubbub about it probably wouldn't know the fucking difference if they sat down and had a dram with you.
That, and you get the last little bit of the good 1920. So,
because I'll be frank, between the old bottling of the 1910 and the new one that I picked up, I didn't really see a difference in terms of quality.
Yeah. Like, if you're worried about, like, is there some dramatic difference from old bottling to new bottling? Not especially. Like, not from what we've observed anyways. So your mileage may vary, but see, as I'm going to say around here. That being said, thank you for joining us here at the K.O.E. Nation for this long time coming review of Old Forester 1920 Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, the Prohibition strength recipe, folks. This has been one that I've really been looking forward to getting into, one that I've been really looking forward to finishing off, and one that I'm really looking forward to getting out to all of you beautiful people out at the K.O.E. Nation. God bless every last one of you. I hope all of you make it back here to the K.O.E. Nation happy, healthy, much the wiser. Raise a glass to yourselves. Tony, take it away.
The top shelf of the old whiskey row, Old Forester. You will not be underserved. Grab you a bottle if you've never had it. It's lovely.